It's working? Okay. Seems to be good. Okay. This is an unedited video, not for clicks. It is for a quick response. You can use it to respond to anybody you like if you don't want to have to type a lot of stuff, or if you feel someone can't read a lot. I've had moments of that. This is just for a quick response video, and no editing, and it is a home camera on low resolution, so don't expect much. At least it's supposed to be on low res. Yeah, it's on low res. Okay. Making this video in response to some new old responses. I say new because they happened just recently, but they're old because they're unimaginative and they're very old mentalities. Anyways, people say, you believe this, it's fake news, you're a libtard, and it occurred to me that this sounds like racist rhetoric. I mean, it's like, I don't want people thinking, like I'm saying these words to insult people. I'm actually saying this to iterate a point. People use terms like wetback, rags, or rag or something, as other racial terms like Jap and stuff are well, one of the big things that was a thing that was most prominent to me is the genocide of Rwanda. Okay, they tried to separate two relatively similar races by measuring the nose, the ears, the eyes, and all that stuff. They referred to people of specific measurement types as cockroaches. And they say these things to otherize and hate on people without actually giving a substance. They're like, hey, I can't be the minority, and you have to be the minority, as a show of dominance or something. They consider it winning. But then that's just creating pointless conflict. Seriously, what do you have to gain from that? Nothing, except a superiority power trip. It's stupid. When a person says libtard, they're essentially trying to call a person a liberal and a retard. So, if you do this, I ask you a simple question. Why don't you try arguing a point? If I were to call you a dumb hick with no greater intelligence than a 4-year-old that hasn't gone to college or hasn't even gone to preschool, then, you'd be like, oh, he's upset. Oh, triggered. You consider it a win. We consider it just pathetic. Again, you're essentially just trolling. We look at this and we're like, and? You call us a libtard, but you're not saying we're wrong. Make a point, people, okay? That's all we're asking for. It's just seriously so much to ask for you people. Then you say, Trump's always winning, ha ha ha, that's all that matters. America is America. It is not Trumpistan. Okay, America has existed long before Trump was even born, and continues to have been run by people who are not Trump or his administration or his friends or family. In fact, most predominantly Obama. Trump hates Obama. So, I ask you a simple question. At what point do you think that just because Trump gets what he wants, that immediately means that it's a victory for America? Because honestly, it sounds like you are some white trash jihadists who are celebrating the fall of America as Trump attacks our institutions and attacks people of power, threatens our governors, and threatens our judges, and insults our judges. Most well known is the judge who handled the Trump University case. Trump said that he couldn't be bipartisan because he was Mexican. But then he started giving reasons for it when people asked him, like, how to justify this. He couldn't justify it. He threw something out there inflammatory, incendiary, and alarmist. I have to say alarmist because that's what conservatives say when they say, oh, Trump's doing something wrong. And they're like, don't be an alarmist. I think you're being an alarmist. Again, when you say these things. Again. And you're not giving any substance. I saw someone say, Hillary's crooked, she's up next, and I'm like, and I'm thinking, the whole Hillary situation has been done. They did 9 investigations, wasted $7 million, or 7 investigations, wasted $9 million, no. They wasted $7 million on 9 investigations, 2 of which were, or 2 or 3 were Republican-led, and they found nothing. You guys are clinging to an idea for life to hate Hillary. And you say that we're the ones being divisive, or spreading hate or anger. You are clinging to this need to hate. And then you talk about fake news, and it's like, well, you're accusing Hillary of being guilty of something, which is not proven. In fact, it has been disproven on multiple occasions. So that in itself means you are fake news. When I hear people saying, like, and I hear Kellyanne Conjon talk about how you hear these stories about victims of Obamacare, that is fake news. Because these people are not giving their stories about being victimized by Obamacare. They're giving their stories about being helped by Obamacare, saved by Obamacare. These people are asking you, don't get rid of Obamacare. But you guys are so desperate to hate Obama. And why? Because senators say there's a death panel? Because health insurance costs money, and that means people get spent on? I mean, I've seen you guys complain about how Obama spent more than any other president, and that's all fine and dandy, but he spent it on the people, okay, and Trump's spending it on himself. So, and Trump is currently well on his way to outspending Obama, okay. So, outspending, I need to be specific, outspending Obama's 8 years in office in just 1. Okay? That's how fast he's spending. For himself. I mean, I've seen you guys complain about Hillary being too close to Wall Street while praising Trump, who has executives from Wall Street. That is how sad it is that you guys hate Hillary. When it comes to people, like you say Hillary's too close to the banks, but then Trump has people from banks in his place. Too close to oil. ExxonMobil. You know, it's just on and on. You guys complain about how close she was to the Saudis. Trump gave the Saudis $110 billion worth of weapons. But then you guys don't want the truth. You call it fake news. You call it liberal outrage and all that shit. But then you guys yourselves have conservative outrage, which is essentially the same thing, just different parties. And the only difference is one is based on substance, the other one is based on party agenda, which is conservatives are based on party agenda. You guys don't give an argument. You say, you know, like, this person's flawed, but then, and for instance, okay, I hear Kellyanne Conjob talk about giving states better flexibility for greater coverage of its people. But then she's talking about taking money from the states. Now, to some of you people who don't really understand logic, and I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of you, if I had $100 million, I would have so much flexibility to do stuff in this room. So much better work quality for my camera. So better quality for this. I mean, you would not believe I could spend time actually learning to edit. Okay, that's how much better quality things would get if I had that kind of flexibility. I don't have that much money, unfortunately. So, you know, and I don't have time to waste editing. So, I mean, right now I'm multitasking on 3 different things. Okay. So, when you take money from somebody, you are not making them more flexible to do something, you're actually making them less flexible to do it, because then they have to be more conservative with their ideals. And when I say conservative, I'm not talking about the conservative party. I'm talking about conservative as in you have to be more cheap with your designs, okay? And because of that, quality suffers. That's what you get. And then my acid is acting up. So, you guys say, you know, like a Trump victory is a victory for America, and that was the thing Obama said too, because, you know, he's trying to be as professional as he can. Trump goes on, like, okay, here's something. Earlier today I hear that this lady who's taking over for Spencer, she talks about how it's a dangerous place for us to be in if we cannot trust our media outlets. Well, we have Trump accusing Obama of wiretapping. That is a dangerous place to put America. We have Trump accusing our former president of being Muslim from Kenya. That is a dangerous thing to put, okay? You have Trump saying a lot of inflammatory things, like the Mexicans are invading America that the Mexican government's invading America by sending its rapists and its murderers here. You know, those aren't things that put us in a dangerous position. We have things like Trump saying that the Muslims are all hate America, they can't learn to like America. Saying we don't have a vetting process when we do, calling NATO obsolete, saying that the NATO people aren't paying America enough, and all of it puts us in a bad place. Accusing our allies of sending the next attacker here, those put us in a bad place. But conservatives seem okay with that. They say, like, he's just learning, he doesn't know any better. But then you have this double standard with the media. You say, like, oh, you can't do what Trump is doing. You can't do what we let Trump do. And that's my point, okay? If you argue something against Obama and Hillary that Trump has done 10 times worse, I'm just going to say you can't argue that point if you support Trump. You can't argue that point if you're doing so in defense of Trump. If Trump signs this GOP thing into law, millions of people will lose their health insurance. That is painfully clear. When Trump says the CBO is being bipartisan, they're being democratic, they're being obstructionist and all that stuff, that puts us in a bad place. But you guys in the Conservative Party seem okay with that. That is why I'm saying you seem like a jihadist who is celebrating the fall of America. You conservatives are worse than the Russians right now. Are worse than ISIS right now. You Republicans are worse than ISIS right now. Because ISIS, they have their weapons, their military and all that stuff. They are on the other side of the ocean. And we know that they're the enemy. We have systems that fortify against what we know as the enemy. But an enemy from within can do more damage than any enemy on the outside. Because an enemy that you trust as friend can take you down from the inside out. I care about America. I care about this great nation, this thing we call the Constitution. I care about these things. I do not live or defend Trumpistan. Okay? This is America. It is a system of balances, of laws. When you say that when Trump goes onto his campaign and talks about how we need to have law and order, we are a nation of borders, and then I hear him attacking our judges, our legal institutions, our military, and our intelligence branches, and all those other, everything that is America. Everything that makes up our law and order system. And mind you, our law and order system is not perfect. But then again, we've had the Republicans for a long time. They've done a lot of damage. When I hear people say that the Democrats are pro-terrorism because they created the KKK back in the 1980s or the 1600s, even though the KKK endorsed Trump, you are fake news. When I hear you guys cling to a retracted report like a life preserver that's suddenly pulling you up from the bottom of the ocean like for the first time, thinking, hallelujah, we finally have one thing out of the ocean of things that have been weighing down on you. People make mistakes, but you are okay if Trump does it. So, you have forfeit the right to give us any flack about how much leeway we give our media. Because when I hear that lady who takes over for Spicer tell the reporters how bad the media is for doing the same thing that Trump does every day, that she has defended, that Spicer has defended, you do not care. You are serving the leader of Trumpistan. You are not serving the people of America. You are. When I hear how the people are saying this and that, how the people voted for this guy, we did not vote for Trump. America did not vote for Trump. America voted 3 million votes over Trump to Hillary. So when you, the conservative Republican branch, tell Americans that this is how the people voted for him, the people want this, no. The people spoke. And they said, we do not want Trump. And you guys say, like, I hear people from the Trump side saying the Electoral College doesn't decide things. You guys say that, oh, there was voter fraud and all that stuff. That is fake news. That is incendiary. That puts us in a bad place. But you're okay with that. You are okay with that. But you don't like it when the media does it. When you think the media is doing something. You guys are worse than ISIS. So don't even think that I'm going to take you seriously for 5 seconds if you call me a libtard. You don't even think for 5 seconds that when you say fake news, I'm going to take you seriously. Hell, I've heard people promote Pizzagate. I've heard people promote stupid shit all the time, like here's a big one, okay? Here's a big one that comes to mind. The Obamacare thing. Premiums went up, yeah. Premiums have always been going up. Kellyanne doesn't tell you that, does she? Premiums have always gone up. But you don't want to know that, because that's a liberal fact. But then you say party politics. The Democrats are just doing what they don't want other people to do. You're trying to undermine our judicial system. You guys don't even respect America. Because America is supposed to be of 3 parties. Or 2 parties. The Republican and the Democrats. And we have a president. The president is supposed to... The Republicans and the Democrats are all supposed to serve the people. And instead, it seems like the Republicans are serving Trump, not the people. There's a checks and balances system. The debate system. Our military isn't supposed to deploy anywhere unless unless Congress authorizes it. Systems designed to make sure that the president doesn't have a dictatorial rule over America. Because America is supposed to be a dictatorship. A free nation where people get play a part in their politics to have a say. And instead I see people talking about how their daughter's having cancer and the cancer treatment's paid for by Obamacare. I hear people talk about diseases I've never even heard of before. Skin diseases, foot diseases, and whatnot. And the Republicans don't care. I heard about a senator who voted for the GOP bill. He had an infant, a newborn baby born with a heart defect. And he voted for the GOP bill. So you guys cannot talk to me about fake news or how the Democrats are bad or anything like that, when every time that somebody says something you don't like, you say it's paid for by Soros. You undermine the voice of the people. Argue the substance. Don't argue with me about how the sky is blue in the middle of the night just because the sun isn't up. That's it.